And okay, I think then we are set. And then, yeah, if you can keep your mics as general muted, if you don't speak up or you're not addressed to, then we don't have disturbances. And when you do speak up, we have here speakers, so everybody in the room also hears you. Okay. It's all yours, Francesco.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, I would really like to know your names. No, if you, yes, I can read your names, but I would like to hear your voices. So if you wanna introduce yourself one by one, people in the room will not be able to see you, but will be able to hear you. I decided that it's better not to project your beautiful faces, so people in the class will not be distracted by that.
Hey, hi everybody, my name is Adonis.
Hi Adonis. Next one. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Rob.
Hi Rob.
Hi, my name is Gwenda and I am with.
My name is Don.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Andrea.
Andrea.
Hello, my name is Reka.
Welcome, Reka. Welcome again.
Hello, my name is Lucrezia.
Hey, Lucrezia. Nice to see you.
Hi, my name is Dian.
Hey, Dian.
Hi, my name is Triana, and we have here also Prima. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Filipa.
Meanwhile, the crowd here is getting bigger and bigger.
Hi, my name is Mirto.
Hi, Mirto. More and more people are joining. Yes, it's good for the ones that have their webcam not active. Well, to activate it, so then we can understand if you want to intervene, speak, or not. Okay. If you don't activate your webcam, you are basically declaring that you will not speak. Okay, does it make sense? All right, but if no one else, and then here I'll have a very fast round. So for you to know how many people and the names we have: Noemi, Maria, Martina, Nina, Senia, Wendy, Gabriele. I hope that I will remember all your name, guys. Sophie, what's the name? Sergei, Delia, and then Elisa, Borbala, Sara, Nina, and Eustace. So we can officially start. Thank you very much. I have to find a good position so that I am both visible for you guys. No problem. My name is Francesco Maria Antonicelli, student here at DNS. I am at my 3rd year of studies. I am experiencing the magical period called teaching practice. So you will witness how I am trying to manage and to learn how to teach. Okay, so I hope I will receive feedbacks and critical feedbacks. But let's get it started. You know that the lesson of today it is about the myth of the cave. written by Plato. Okay, Plato. It is a well-known Greek philosopher. He wrote the Myth of the Cave, also called the Allegory. What happened? You have been signed out because your account is signed in from another device.
You are still in, Fra, so there is no...
Okay. Yeah, some technical issues. Can you see me? Or can you see us?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you.
Okay, so we just give us the time to fix this this little issue, but I will continue. I said that it was written by Plato in 380 BCE. Do you know what BCE stands for? Some of my students must know. Before Common Era. Yes, thank you, Elisa. Which means, according to the Gregorian calendar, 380 years before Christ was born. Or before the Common Era started, if you want to have another references instead of the birth of Jesus Christ. Socrates. Socrates is the main character in this story, and it was chosen by Plato because he had enormous respect for Socrates, which was who was his teacher, and Plato was one of his most capable students. So basically, Plato chooses Socrates as a vehicle to convey what, in fact, Plato himself really wanted to transfer, to communicate, to teach. This dialogue, it is, in fact, it is called, this kind of writing, a dialogue. It is part of a bigger collection, a bigger group, book called Republic. It's a big, massive work, and this dialogue is dialogue number 7. The aim of the Republic of Plato is to investigate, analyze, examine what justice is. That's the main theme, that's the main core, that's the main objective of the whole work, okay? And then he does it in a very peculiar way, imagining a utopia, okay? A utopic city, which is the most just possible reality. Okay, so by analyzing that, he questions whether justice is good or not, and in fact, what justice is. But let's go back to our allegory. I'll spell it. I hope you will all read. Allegory. Who knows what an allegory is? Okay, Rob.
Yes, an allegory, it's a kind of story that we use to explain a concept. It's a long story. It's, yeah, to be short.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. An allegory is a tale. It is a story, okay, where the fiction, what is described in it, represents or correspond to some non-fictional subject, reality. So there is a 1-to-1 relation between the character or the events of the allegory and some corresponding entity, subject, character in reality. Do you know any example of allegory? Either here or there. Can you imagine? According to this brief description.
Yeah, I know people when they have an allegory, like it starts somewhere and like for example there's a sheep.
I'm sorry, can you all hear Borbala speaking right now? No, so maybe Borbala, you should come closer.
Okay.
Yeah, hurry up.
And in the meanwhile, Fra Diana later has another example.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure it's the best example, but there is a poem where it's about people, but they make it as if they were like a ship and they are going on the sea, and this is kind of showing a revolution, but they show it with the ship. So it starts and ends with the ship, and it's like going throughout the whole poem. So yeah, it's an allegory.
Okay.
I don't know if I explained it.
Oh, but thank you, Borbala. Diane.
Any like myth story like the Odyssey or like Hercules, it is like some fictionary reporting about old heroes, legends and tales which were happening, but they also have always something true in himself. So they are like representative for an allegory of it.
Yes, yes, exactly. Myths very often were allegories. Yes, no one else. I will give you an example that will surprise you. Avatar. Avatar, the movie, is an allegory. Okay? The whole world is the Amazon forest. So there's a relation. The world of Avatar corresponds to the Amazon forest. The indigenous people, you know? How are they called? I don't remember. The blue one. Okay? And then there's the invader, right? Which are the ones that go in the Amazon forest, exploit, destroy, and so on. Diane has another example.
No, the blue ones are the Navi.
Navi, thank you. Thank you so much. The Animal Farm. The Animal Farm. George Orwell. Thank you, Borbala. Yes. This is another allegory. We know that in the Animal Farm, you know, there are... do you all know the Animal Farm? Yeah, okay. But maybe a better question would be, did you ever hear about the Allegory of the Cave by Plato?
Yes.
Yes, Rob. Okay. Someone else? Someone else? Yes. If you did, it is most likely in your high school studies, and also because it's a masterpiece. It's the most likely the most well-known piece of philosophy from, you know, Western philosophy so far. But then we understood what an allegory is. In this myth, in fact, we have a constant relation between subject, character described in the allegory, and the reality. Okay? But let's dig in and start to analyze. Okay, maybe the ones that know already the myth, the allegory, can start to describe what happens. Okay, if you don't want to let me do it, my voice is boring. Who wants to do that? Diane.
It's so funny how you say my name.
Diane.
Yes, but you have like this typical Italian accent. Diane.
Yeah.
It's fine. So Plato's cave is reporting from how is this called? they mentioned like if you would you have like people who are living in a cave, which
Okay,
are
okay. Let's go slowly. There's people.
yeah, people in a cave, like in a not cave.
In a cave,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's closed. They are like watching the wall. They don't see anything than the wall, and
Why
like
they don't see anything?
Well, anything else? I
Why?
want to because they just watch the wall. They are like how is this chained? Sorry.
They are chained. Yes, bond. Very good. Shackled, right?
Yeah.
From their head and from their bodies. It means that they cannot move, right? They always keep the same position. They cannot turn their heads. They cannot turn their bodies. And here we have the little man. I don't know if you can see it. The shape of the cave, the shackles, the chains, right? They are blocked, attached to a wall. And they look at the same direction.
All the time.
All the time. Please continue.
They just see the shadows which are on the wall because there's like a fire behind them.
Okay, so there's a fire behind them. There is a fire behind them. This is the fire, right?
Yeah. And they see just the shadows from themselves or whatever is passing behind them or going on. Like
Okay.
They just see the shadows on the wall.
Thank you very much. So, to be more precise, you're very right. They see shadows cast in front of them on the wall. So, our shadow cast by other people. Can you see all? Right? People that are carrying on top of their heads items, objects, statues. We have a flower here, okay? This is the statue of a flower. So with the light behind, this flower casts a shadow on this wall. This is the shadow of the flower. Is it clear? Does it make sense for everyone? Just nod your head. Okay, very good. Because this is crucial. And then, Diane wants to continue, or you want me?
I can continue, but if anyone else wants to take over, it's also fine. I can continue, but okay.
No.
So the next part is so they don't know what's going on out there. They never saw what's happening behind them, and they just know about this reality in front of them.
Okay, thank you for the spoiler.
Okay.
I'm joking. I wanted to continue to the structural description of the place, okay? The context. There is a cave, but hey guys, there's also an entrance. There is an entrance that brings to the outside world. This is the sun. Can you see the sun? This is the outside world. This is the inside of the cage, of the cave. Here we have the little wall, people passing in between the little wall and the fire with statues on top of their head which shadows are cast on the wall. Here we have the people chained, looking all at the same direction, forced to look at these shadows. And then, I mean, it's quite, it is not just about the sight. These people, they don't just see these shades. The ones that are bringing these statues or these figures, these shapes, they also produce a sound. So imagine if they bring the statue of a monkey, they would, make the sound of the monkey so that it will echo in the whole cave. So there are many senses involved, okay? But then I have to ask you another thing. I hope that someone here in the crowd will answer as well. Who are these people? This one, the chained. Who are these people? Who are these people? Can you imagine who they are? Repeat, this is an allegory. To this image corresponds an image, a character, a subject of the reality. Who are these people? Borbala says the working class. Sorry?
The oppressed.
The oppressed. Noemi says the oppressed. Rob?
I would say that it's us in general, the citizens.
Thank you, Rob. It is us. It is the working class. It is the oppressed. It is us. It is written. It is us all. And, okay. Senia, do you want to say something?
More like our perception, like from our view, from the mind, that this is what we perceive. Like our perception.
So these people are our perception, in your opinion? Okay, okay. It is not. No. The shadow casted is the perception. These people are the ones that sees, that actively perceive. Okay. But it was a good one. What are these people doing? What do they do? Okay, they are chained, they look at the same direction, they cannot move. It's more than one. Okay, I will tell you what they do. They have to spend time somehow. So they name things. This is their main occupation. They name what is casted, what is cast on the wall. They name the shadows. They started to give name. It means that they identify. This is crucial. This is something that we all do, right? Since we are very, very little, around the age of 2, when we begin, to master our languages. You can see toddlers in the groceries, like naming things. Orange, kiwi, banana, they do that. They want to prove their knowledge. They want to render their vocabulary. This is what these people do as well. They render their knowledge. They name. If we name, we know. We know just if we name. Does it make sense? You cannot know something which you cannot name. So this is a crucial part. They are basically learning in this way. They are getting knowledge. And in this way. You might understand that there is a big problem here. That there is an enormous problem. That they name incorrectly. They don't name the flower. They do name the flower, but this is not a flower. This is the shadow, first level, of a statue, second level, that represents something that exists in the real world outside, third level. They name the representation of a representation. This is the biggest problem of these people here. This is our biggest problem in Plato's opinion. At this point, I think that you have all the basic information to proceed and to go over. You have a picture, a general picture of the context. Let's move on with the story. Let's move on with the tale. At some point, one prisoner, it is freed. This is the game-changing event. One prisoner is freed, which means that someone goes in the cave, unchained this person, and compels him or her outside, drags him. This is peculiar because the person chained doesn't want to move from there. This is what Plato wants us to think about. He wants us to think about the fact that the person chained doesn't want to move, and that there's an action of force according to which then the person will move, then will be compelled to stand up. And it's very hard. I mean, guys, imagine a person that maybe is a little that I didn't say before, but these people here were born and raised in that way, in the cave. And this was a quite crucial, and this is a quite crucial detail. They never saw the outside world. They grew up in that spot. It is tragic, yeah? It is dramatic. It is an extreme example, and Plato is very good in bringing extreme examples. So he cannot move, it shakes, he cannot walk, it takes a while. What is the first thing that this person sees after it is unchained? The wall, the statues, the fire.
Do we know how old are the people?
Sorry?
Do we know how old are the people?
How old are the people? It doesn't really matter. Men and women, it doesn't matter. It is not important. It is not about cruelty or what this allegory. Think about the meaning behind. It is not given to us to know what's their background stories or what they were doing in their daily life, or if they were going to the toilet, what food they were eating. It doesn't matter that. It doesn't matter how old they were. We know that they are there, and that at some point one is freed, and it starts to move out and reaches the first stage, looks at this, and what is his reaction? He cannot believe. Oh, yes, Rob, please.
He just says, "What is this?"
What is this? Yes. What is that? What is that? And the person that was dragging him, says, this is the source of your reality. This is the place where all your reality comes from. So he's saying, hey man, you were fooled your whole life. What he answers back, you're crazy. That's what he says. The prisoner says, you are crazy. This is not possible. He cannot believe. He cannot accept. Wait, because his drama is going to get even harsher and harder. Because after this stage, the prisoner is brought outside. In the outside world, where the real confusion happened. Why? There's a simple reason. The sunlight the sunlight. He cannot see anything. He spent his whole life in darkness. This person spent his or her own life in darkness, and once he's brought outside, sees the light and cannot distinguish anything, because this is what happened also to us, guys. Imagine you are sleeping and then somebody, your roommate, turns on the light. You can't see anything. Okay, buzzers, diesel, dazzles, what are the English words? I don't know. But you cannot see, you cannot recognize the shape of things. You are confused. This person is confused. And not just confused, this person is physically suffering. Because it is painful. It is painful to see the light for the first time. It is painful, not just biologically and physically, but to acknowledge that his or all existence was a fake, was a recreation. He was the product of a plan. He was controlled. Okay. And then he starts, to touch things and recognize. And there are also very beautiful description. I totally recommend you to read. It's very short, guys. You should read it if you never did. But it is very beautiful how Socrates in the Allegories describes all of this happening, how he touches the grass and how he looks at the trees and how he looks at his own images. It is also amazing. He looks at his own images in a pond, in a lake, okay? And this is shaking for his consciousness. And then I didn't mention that the interlocutor of the allegory, it is called Glauco. So Socrates shares with Glauco this story, this tale. And then he looks at the sun directly. His mother told him, never do it. You're not laughing, it wasn't a nice joke. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. But he does it anyway. It takes a while, then his eyes adjust to light. And he perceives, and he acknowledges. He is literally enlightened. He is literally enlightened. What happens at this point? He has to come back. And he wants to come back. He wants to come back because he feels sorry for his fellows, companions, prisoners that are still unchained, that don't know the truth. They don't know what the truth is. He does. He wants to say the truth. It's his mission. What happens here is quite tragic, because as soon as he is made to come back, he tries to convince. He tries to convince the other prisoners. And then what do you think is the other prisoners' reaction? Sorry, Wendy? They don't believe. Yes. No one believes him. No one believes him. So he's unchained, is chained again. And so they start to play, because the prisoner says, okay, you're saying that now you know, that now you know more than us. Well, then let's show us. Let's see if you're very good at recognizing reality, at recognizing things, at naming things. So they start a game. They start a challenge. So basically they all have to name the cast shadows that would eventually scroll and appear on the screen. Okay, on the screen, pardon, on the wall. And he is very bad at it. Guess why?
It's not the same.
Noemi says because it's not the same. Diane?
Because he doesn't know it anymore. Like the others make this like all the time. They have names for it. They know each other, the names for themselves, but he doesn't know what they tell it or name it because he saw it from the outside, from maybe another language or another tribe which used other words. So he knows different words for it, and he's very bad because he maybe names it, but they say no, that's wrong because it's not the same name.
Yes, it can be that. And it can also be that he cannot physically see. Because imagine yourself, you know, there's the light in your room, then the same pranking roommate turns off the light. What do? You get stuck. You cannot move. You can't distinguish. It takes a while before your eyes adjust to darkness. It takes a while before you are able to come back to your previous status. And maybe it will never be the same. Well, most likely, it will never be the same. So the other prisoners, looking at the experience of this guy, which became so bad at that game, at naming things, they say, all right, if it's like this, then I will never go out. We will even kill whoever will try to free us. This is their statement. We will kill whoever will try to enlighten us, to give us the truth, to bring us where the truth is. And this is a clear reference to Socrates' life. Here, Plato references to an actual historical event, which is the death of Socrates, who, if you don't know, was sentenced to death because of inappropriate acts towards the democracy of Athens. Basically, the government of the city didn't accept the fact that Socrates was educating in a certain way. And they weren't accepting the teaching of Socrates. It will take another lesson maybe to talk about this, that it is not the main focus, but for the ones that maybe know a bit, you can reconnect, and then maybe I'm giving to you another topic to further investigate. Okay? They will kill the one who will try to bring them to light. But okay, so now let's go back to this image. Let's distinguish and let's name few things. What is this? The outside world. We said truth. The first principle. And then we have another level, the prisoners. We already said us. What is missing? Yes. Who are those people? Who are the ones that carry the stages? Okay? That present that reality, that controls, who are in our society, in our reality. Can you find the correspondent? Can you find the comparison? Can you name some? Media. Thank you, Sergey. Media. The rich, says Eustace. Someone? Borbala says those in power. Any other example? Any other comparison? No one on this side? Ourselves. Ourselves because we are also all of these things. Well, teachers also. Eh? Teachers, they do that. We are students, we are teachers. Yeah. Parents, maybe also parents, you know, good parenting, but basically, guys, even if with the good intentions, but what good parenting is to brainwash your kid and say, you know, you have to say the truth always. You have to brush your teeth. This is right. This is wrong. Are those people? They choose what side of reality to show to their kids. The parents, they do that. Parents. Who else? What else? Do you have any other? Sorry? Government. Yeah, they all choose. They choose what the citizens should trust, should see, should know. All right? And of course, media. Yeah. Think about any, name it. And I guess that it will be easy for you to agree and understand. I would say also a religious leader, you know, whatever religion it is. There is an act of transmission of knowledge, of reality, of truth, which is chosen by someone and redirected to someone else, which passively receives. Okay? So these people, they have enormous power. Enormous. And all of these that we named are the ones that hold that power. And the ones here are the ones that passively receive that power. Okay. So we see here, just to go back again to the context, we see here the presence of two main words. This word, where we are, this is according, you know, to the Platonic interpretation, okay, and is intention. This word where we are, and I don't know if someone that knows the myth can say what this word stands for. Maybe Rob.
Can you say again the
What
question?
this word where the prisoners are, where we are, what represents?
That's more like, I mean, it depends on the level you're talking about. It can be like the school, the activities of teaching, it can be the parenting.
Absolutely, all of that. It is the physical word, the sensible word, the word that we can perceive with our senses, what we can touch, what we can smell, what we can hear, what we can see. So this is the physical word. According to Plato's ideas. Is it clear? Does it make sense so far? Senia, I see a confused face.
I'm trying to relate like in psychological terms, like could it be like the rational mind?
Psychologically, you would like to call this the rational mind. What do you understand? Like what?
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I don't have it clear.
Okay. But rational, can you elaborate? Why rational?
Rational is in like in what we perceive, and we create this physical, what we understand reality is.
Okay.
So we, through our perception,
Okay.
it gets to our rational mind.
Okay. So Senia is saying that is the rational word in psychology because yes, it is exactly what happens. We perceive something, we rationalize, internalize, and then it becomes part of ourself. We name it, like we can approach it and understanding through senses, and then we internalize, we know it, it becomes ours. Yeah, we can say that. But physical. And then this other word, the word outside for Plato, okay, it is the word of ideas. It is not a physical word. You cannot touch ideas, you cannot smell ideas, you cannot see ideas, you can think ideas. You cannot perceive ideas with your senses, but you can understand them. Ideas. This is the word of ideas. Ideal word. It depends from which you believe. The cosmos, like I can sense some mystical interpretation. Yeah, if you are a mystic, if you choose to have a mystical interpretation, that would be the word of cosmos. Plato was calling it hyperuranium. For him, it was beyond the cosmos, over, above, hyper. It's a place where all ideas are. To make it clear, okay? Let's make it simple, and let me also delete a little bit of things so we can. What is this? What is this? This is a triangle. Can you see the triangle?
Now, yes.
Okay, very good. This is a triangle. In the sensible world, we can see this figure, this geometrical figure. We can relate to it. We can even touch it. Yeah, we can build it. Whatever you want to do. In the world of the idea, is a concept. It is a geometrical figure with three sides, which its internal angles, if summed, if added, have like the summation of the internal angles is 180 degrees. This is the definition of the triangle. It is an idea. It will never change, cannot perish. This triangle is temporary. The one I drew, it will eventually disappear. No more a triangle. Again, Eustace, can you save the screen? It makes me feel uncomfortable with the desktop. This triangle, the triangles in the sensible world, are perishing entities. Perishing entities. The triangle as an idea, it'll never die. It'll never perish. It'll never be corrupted. It is there. Cannot be mutated. According to Plato, the world of ideas, because of this, is more real than the sensible world. Plato used to say that, there I brought the example of the triangle, but there is, in the world of the idea of the table. Sarah gave a good example, a good lesson. It was just a very private lesson, but she got to that point in a very good way. There is the idea of a table, all right, and then there is a representation of the table. There is a physical recreation of that concept, of that idea. for us, for each of us, it will never correspond the same. I say to you table, you will think about something. I say to Reka table. Imagine a table, Reka. It will be for sure different from the table that Noam is imagining right now. And you are both Hungarian. And maybe you're from the same town. Yet it will be different. Let's go back to Plato, please. We will not go now, we will not spend too much time on this metaphysical interpretation. We will not spend too much time on this metaphysical discourse. We are not here to do philosophy in that way. So let's analyze this allegory in a way that is more appropriate for us. What is the base of the cave? It is the physical world. It is the conventional world. Conventional world. What we take for granted. What we assume it is the truth. Okay? Convention. What is outside world? Guys, I will tell you. The process to move from the conventional world, from the world of convention, from the world of stereotypes, to the outside world is the process of, try to guess? Yeah? Unchaining? Enlightenment? Liberation? Yes? Some other ideas on that side? What? Education! Education, guys. Education. Critical assessment. Here, conventions and stereotypes. Here. Does it make sense? Can we read it in this way? I would, and I do. Plato is very wise. And he acknowledges, and he knows, and he well describes how difficult it is, the process of moving from one world to another. He knows that it creates, as we said before, pain, most of all, confusion. He says, never laugh about the ones who looks confused, because it means that they are either going from the darkness to the light, and in that case, we should be happy for them, or because from the light, they are going to the darkness. And in that case, we should be sorry for them. But never laugh at them. In any case, confusion, it's a sign of transformation, of movement. It means that you are not steady, stable, unmovable, right? But not all education, all the type of education are the same. We said before that among those, the ones that carry the stages, the figures, there are also teachers. What kind of teachers? According to Plato's idea, these are the teachers that Paulo Freire, for the ones that don't know him, investigate about him, otherwise this lesson will never end if I talk also about Paulo Freire, are the teachers that use a system, a way, which is called banking. Thank you, Sarah. Banking model of education, which means I am the teacher, I own a capital of information, I deliver it to my students. I pour knowledge, information onto them. They don't actively receive, they passively receive this information. They accept it for what it is. They take it for granted. They live in that conventional knowledge. There is no critical assessment. There is just mere, pure indoctrination. That's the banking model of education. And Plato, try to guess, he doesn't like it at all. Plato thinks instead, because Socrates taught him that if you want to learn, sorry, I already spoiled, that in order to learn, you have to want it. It's an active decision and stand. It is not enough for a teacher to pour information and decide upon the students. There is need that the souls of the students have to turn, to be turned, to be movement, to be moved. They have, if we come back to the figure, to turn around. Okay? To turn around. But not just their but what can you name? We are composed by what? As humans, what do we have? What are the main features? So, no, main features. Main features of us as human beings. Spine. Yeah, yes, so body. Yeah, body. You are very specific, but body. Yeah, that's right. That's very right. That's very right. What distinguishes us from the monkey? Brain. Also, monkeys have brain, but we are walking on two legs. We're walking. You're too physical. Let's move from the body side, Barbara. Yes, we are working on two legs. Ideas. The ideas are in our mind. Awareness, self-consciousness. Yes? Someone here?
We can think.
We can think. Exactly. We can think. And what else we have? Will, feeling, desires, passions. Passions. Desires. Body, minds, and desires and passions. This is what we have. This is what we are. And one cannot move without the other. And Plato says, if you want to change, if you want to move, your whole body, your mind, and your spirit has to move, have to move as a whole. And if that doesn't happen, if in the process of learning, the actual learning doesn't occur, it is not because of mental deficiencies, of not capability. What distinguishes a good student from a bad student, if we want to use this banal wording, okay, it is not the mental capability, the intelligence, how smart or not one is. It doesn't make any difference. The difference is in how much the student desires to learn, wants to learn. So there's no issue of mental capacity. These guys here, they're not dumb. They're not stupid. They never had the opportunity to turn around. They never wanted to turn around. And when they are asked for, they refuse to turn around, to move their body, their spirit, their mind. They don't do it. They have basically desire disorder. You can call it like that. There's a clear case of desire disorder. They desire something that, yeah, it's a little bit sick. Okay. They desire to be chained, not to know, to be controlled. So what the students have to be? I wrote it. Active. Active. If there is no activity, if there is no action, there is no growth. There is no learning. The learning process, it is abrupted. Okay. It might be painful. It might be painful. We saw it. The prisoner, he suffered. His legs were shaking and hurting. He was in chain. His eyes were burning. He lost the balance. He preferred to be comfortably chained to that wall and name cast shadows. It was painful. But we don't move if someone pushes us. We move if we are attracted, if we desire to move. Like you wanna study, you know, there are two possibilities. You can study, you can watch the latest Netflix production. If you choose the latest Netflix production, you are actively deciding not to study. Does it make sense? Simple example. Noemi, please.
My question is why they didn't desire to go up.
Why they didn't desire to go up?
I mean, they were born there, so probably they didn't know that other words.
Exactly. It's not their fault. It is not their fault. We cannot blame them. They had no other opportunities. You are very right. There is one major detail missing. What is missing in our description? What figure, what feature is missing? Sergey? About what happened in the cave.
Yes.
We described all the elements, but there's one element missing.
Thinking about the people, like he came back and there was other prisoners.
Yeah.
And he was telling to him like them.
Yeah.
There is like.
Yeah.
The world, you know, and
they refused. Yeah. But that has been said. There. Yeah. Yeah. You said it because I said it. There are people there chained. The first prisoner comes back. They refuse, and so on. But maybe if we go a little bit back, we didn't spend too many words on one figure. Senia?
Who was the person that broke the chains of the first?
Yes! The person, sorry Nina, the person who broke the chains of the first prisoner. The one who carried out, who compelled to move the first prisoner. Who's that?
It's us.
Yes, it is us. It is
teacher.
It is the teacher. It is the mentor. It is the guide. That's what it is. But not the same teacher that banks information, that store information, that has the capital. It is the teacher that Socrates was associating to the midwife. Can I have your full attention, please? Who's po? Who's Mati? Di Lea? No. Nessun. Okay. Please, whatever happens there, happens there. Please keep the attention. Don't be distracted. Okay. It is not the teacher that delivers, that pours information. It is the one that Socrates was associating to an important figure of that time. It still exists. It has less job nowadays because hospitals took over enormously. But that figure, it is called, Rob, you want to say it?
It is the midwife. But
the midwife.
I have a question.
Yes.
A remark, I don't know. You say that you talk about the person who liberates the prisoner.
Yeah.
But I don't know which version of text you had. But
yeah.
I remember that it was said by accident.
Sorry?
I remember that in the dialogue, it was written, imagine that this happens by accident.
Imagine that this happens by accident.
So
yeah.
What do you think about the word accident?
Mm-hmm.
Because you say that these people like Plato, like give birth to the mind of others. But again, that's the question, like, who was the one to give birth to Plato's mind?
Oh, yeah.
And who was the one before, and so on. And
yes, yes. We can go to, as I said before, we can indulge in some metaphysical interpretation and go backwards. We wanted, the aim of this presentation is to stress one of the hundreds interpretation, you know? There is no, by no means, I want to say that is the only interpretation possible, guys. That's clear. We can interpret it in a political way, in a cultural way, in an economical way, whatever you want. In this moment, we choose to interpret and analyze it under certain lenses. Okay. It can happen by accident that he is enchained. He wouldn't move anyway. He wouldn't move if there wasn't a major element, which is the midwife. Which is the midwife. Do you know what a midwife is? Okay, a midwife is a person who has the responsibility or the job to help out giving birth. Okay. So it basically welcomes the new life, the new baby, okay, the newborn baby out from the womb of the mother. Okay. That midwife is not giving birth herself. I say herself because we're usually women at that time. It's not giving birth herself. It's not doing the hard job. It's not suffering. It's helping out. It's witnessing. It's leading. It's caring. It's not in control of that birth. As the teacher. Teacher will not study what you are studying. You have to be in control of your studies. This is what Plato says, and I actually agree. There are different roles. There are different roles. The teacher has that in Plato, as the midwife, that role to lead and guide and move in that process of moving and turning soul, mind, spirit, passion of the students. but it cannot happen if there is no desire from the student. Whatever the teacher can do, that change will not happen. To keep the image of the abortion, of the birth, of the giving birth, that would be an abortion. The birth would not happen. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear? Over there? Okay. Thank you very much. I invite you now, if you want to spend some time, if you have more time, 1 hour and 15 minutes passed. If you want to dedicate 15 more minutes of your life, is it okay for you, Eustace?
Yeah.
Is it okay for you to dedicate 15 minutes of your life to a little experiment? Take a pen, take a piece of paper, and draw. 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 Draw whatever comes to your mind. Of course, associated and related to what we said before. Do you want to draw the same cave, but in a better way? Do you want to draw another allegory? Or do you want to find another comparison? Is it clear?
I draw just whatever.
You decide what to draw. What comes to your mind, what image appears in you after having heard this. Okay. And it will be short, like then you can improve that drawing. But let's say that as we have 15 minutes, you can dedicate 7 minutes to that, and then 7 minutes will be then dedicated for sharing and showing some drawing, if you like, if you want, and spend few words. Let's say that we will show just 2 drawings that will be described and presented, if you want. Otherwise, see you again in 7 minutes. Okay? I will mute the microphone. Any questions over there? Okay, thank you. See you in 7 minutes. Hi guys, time's up. And yeah, can we project? No, we cannot project. Okay. So maybe let's start from here. So some from here will come in front of the webcam and show their drawing. Who wants to be fast, guys? Just to show and spend few words, like brief description. Okay, Sergey will be the first.
Wow. Can you see it? Amazing.
Can you explain?
It's basically idea is the same, kind of how the truth through lenses like become our, like how we see reality through which lens basically.
Okay.
And since we break them, we can see kind of more real picture. Wow.
Okay. Thank you, Sergey. One from you guys. Leonie, you have to unmute yourself. And then if you want to come here, keeping the distance.
Hi.
Hi.
So, can you see it? Yeah, it reminded me of this. So you have one object here that you see from different perspective. Actually, it's illuminated from here and from here. And here you have one truth. This is the reality. You have one truth would be shaped in the square, and here it would be shaped in the circle. Even though it's the same object with different perspective, you can have two different realities. But
okay, that's a cool one. Thank you. Another one, Maria.
Okay, I did
Closer. Yeah.
Okay, so I did like a modern day version of it with a more consumeristic slant. So it was someone watching TV.
Yeah.
They have a thought like, I need new clothes. Then they go on their phone and they see posts about fast fashion. And then they in mind have another mental image of like somebody working in a sweatshop. And then maybe like the bigger picture is like other ways to.
Okay. So that illusion.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you. Any other of you guys behind? Rob.
I can try.
Yeah, man.
For my tablet, I hope it's visible.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, yes, I want to explain why I saw that. It looks like out of the topic, but for me, the research of the truth, it's related to a long road to go. Yeah. And in the horizon, there is the sun, which, the road is the path to enlightenment.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I don't know if there's anyone else that wants here. Noemi.
I can try to explain.
Yeah.
Hello. So this is my drawing. I hope you see. And it represents a person who is owning the knowledge, like the learning process, let's say. And you have a choice of knowledge. Like here in front of the person, there are different objects that represent different values for me, from which you can choose, or from which you might already have some. And here you might not see, but it's the universe, kind of the sun and the different planets. The universe that is that kind of your context and your surrounding. And here it's like a dialogue, because I believe that it was mostly inspired by Francesco, that you can hardly learn without dialogues, or, you know, because it's a social process. And yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Last one from you guys. Yeah, Adonis. Anai, do you want to unmute Adonis?
Yes, sorry.
Yep.
Yes, that's an eye, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that this represents like the spiritual third eye, usually known as the pineal gland of our brain, like the base of our intuition. And in a philosophical sense, maybe we can say that this would be a very important part to make you awake and start looking behind, and start looking on your right, on your left, having the intuition to understand that maybe what you see is not exactly what it is. So that's all.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Well, after this beautiful session of sharing, I can say that this course, this lesson is concluded. Anyway, I invite you not just to keep discussing in small groups. Maybe we can create a Facebook, or how is it called? WhatsApp group chat, or you can share, if you didn't have the opportunity, your considerations and your drawing. You can send it to us, DNS, the Necessary Teacher Training College, or to DNS 19 Voices of Empowerment, or yeah, you decide you want, but I warmly invite you to keep discussing, keep creating dialogue, and keep researching. So there'll be many more experiences like this, many more lessons. We have the next lesson when? Please, I need the help of the public. Tomorrow, Nina?
7:30.
You wanna come and announce it? Your voice would be, your invitation would be more powerful than mine.
Yeah, you're super welcome tomorrow from 7:30. We have a whole course all about creative education. So all about the banking method and things like this, but also how we can move on and future ideas. So come join us tomorrow, 7:30. What? Share. Share?
Yeah. Yeah. So be the students you want to be, and be the teacher you think is right to be. So thank you very much. And see you next time. I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
And we all disappear.